Very good evening, everybody. We'll start with today's session, a concluding session on the close philosophy, and we'll close the chapter, the General Pathology of Homeopathy. In fact, it is the biggest chapter from Stuart Close, having a lot of meaning. In fact, he has tried his level best to explain how we think homeopathically and how one must think homeopathically. Giving a medicine is not the treatment. Managing the patient as a whole, considering all the aspects of the patient, or taking into consideration all the aspects of pathology, and then managing that case with the help of homeopathy is the real homeopathy. And this practical aspect he has tried in this chapter to explain it to all of you. Last concluding part was related with the drug diseases, or which are also called as iatrogenic diseases. And he has given lot of importance to this part because he has given reference of many allopaths and who said that if we'll dump all the medicines, material medicines into the sea, it will be better for human being and it will be worse for the fishes. Such comments made by allopaths themselves because there are very hazardous effects when used in larger quantity. Then he tried to explain every time you must take the history, what are the medicines the patient has consumed. He has given one sentence by another allopath who has written one book where he has mentioned that the most common causes of the present illnesses are hidden in the what medicine the patient has consumed. And such sentences, what it denotes that there are lot of hazardous effects which happens on human body, and if you remove those medicines from the patients in this state, many times the disease vanishes. The artificial diseases which are caused because of those medicines gets vanished once you stop the medicine, and that's what he wants to explain to you. At the same time, one must know, or one must have a thorough knowledge about the potency in homeopathy. He has given one good example, a case of belladonna. Case was very clear regarding the belladonna, but potency choose was wrong, given in 3 eggs instead of giving 30 or 200 with higher susceptibility. And because of which, for first follow-up, there was a homeopathic aggravation and he considered it as a wrong, and then he chose many remedies and ultimately he was in chaos. This happens even while utilizing homeopathic remedies because we never take into consideration exactly the doses. We never understands how the susceptibility should be judged, how one can think about the potency in pathological cases, how one can think about the potency in the functional level. All those things matters a lot, and that's why it is too much necessary to understand all those effects of the medicines. And that's why in third aphorism, Hahnemann have explained very clearly the physician should have knowledge of medicinal powers. The word powers is used because every remedy in different potency is a different remedy. And that's why one must know. If we are using the belladonna in 3x is different remedy, the 6C is different, the 30C is different, 200 is different, 1M is different, CM is different. Because the depth of action varies. And one should understand, one should have that knowledge so that he can judge proper potency for the patient and there will be no further aggravation of the patient. And that case we have discussed in detail in last lecture. Let us go ahead to the next paragraph, page number 120, the third paragraph. It should be a matter of routine in making the first examination to ascertain what drugs have been used. It is too important what drugs have been used. Every time in your history, one should write down what are the medicines they have consumed. In chronic cases, this investigation should extend back through the whole lifetime of the patient. He says that whatever the medicines patient has consumed since birth, that history is necessary. The diseases from which the patient has suffered and the drugs used in their treatment should be ascertained if possible. So If you get such type of history, that will be better for you in treating the patient. The patient may not know all, but he will usually know some of the most common and powerful drugs he has taken, and a search of the druggist files may reveal the rest. So, it is not possible for every patient to recollect all the remedies, what he has consumed. But many times, the broad names of the medicines they knows. Patient says, yes, doctor, I have allergy to the sulfa. I got all over body the rash after taking sulfa. He explains, I have at that time doctor have given me penicillin. He explains you at least the names of the drugs, and that is necessary. Second thing, you must ask previous prescription that will guide you to find it out what medicines he has consumed. The key to a difficult case may be the drug or drugs which have cured some acute diseases, perhaps early in the patient's medical history. And this is very common. Many times patient comes to you with chronic problems, and his acute problem was treated with some pre acute acute medicines, allopathic medicines, which are given in larger quantity. So these things can happen. This is the problem. So one must take into consideration that history. Antidoting the drug clears up the case, and this happens many times. Best antidote in homeopathy, yesterday I have told, is the Naxomica. If patient has consumed lot of medication and he goes into the state of Nux is the best antidote for all such measures. Frequently, for example, will some chronic diseases of the liver, kidneys, spleen, and lungs be traced back to an initial attack of malarial fever, checked by massive doses of quinine or arsenic. The patient has never been well since. The seemingly indicated remedies do not act. A few doses of appropriate antidote, perhaps arnica or ipecac or pulsatilla or even of arsenic or cinchona, the abused drugs themselves in high potency will clear up the case and either cure or render it amenable to other symptomatically indicated drugs. Most important thing is that all those medicines are very hazardous. Quinine, you know the dose of the quinine. Quinine chloroquine phosphate, Lariego, 250 milligram per tablet. What is the dose? Four tablets at a stat. That is 1 gram to start with treatment. After 6 hours, 500 milligram, 2 tablets, and then 250 milligram BD. How if you give 1 gram of chloroquine phosphate to the patient, many times patient has gastritis, patient has sometimes diplopia. One patient I think I have shared that case with you was the case of leukemia, which was left by the Tata Memorial Hospital, that there is a relapse and now there is no use of medicines and they send the patient back. I have seen patient on the last moment. When I saw him, he was semi-conscious. His WBC count 2,31,000. I checked him. I asked the history to the parents, and I have prescribed him Barata iodide 200. After Barata iodide, within span of 6 days, he was absolutely good, become conscious, started eating, moving. After 6 days, he was there in front of me, and I asked him to take the CBC again, which was done 10 days back, which was 2,31,000. And to my surprise, this was 3,400. This drastic change has happened, but he started getting fever with chills. And in his that CBC, peripheral blood smear, there appeared a falciparum malaria, which was there 1 year before, treated with chloroquine. See how much hazardous effects can happen because of it. These are very dangerous effects, and those one should not miss. And that's why he explains that if whatever the medicines patient has consumed, take into consideration and find it out. Accordingly, you can use proper antidote. It is a fact that high potency of a drug is sometimes best antidote to the effects of crude drug. And this is true with maximum times. So chloroquine, we have the Syncona. It is the derivative of Cinchonabar. So if you give Syncona to such patients in hypotension, sometimes it removes the effects which are produced because of chloroquine. But it is not always so. It depends what the patient presents. Most important thing is that what patient presents matters a lot to find it out a right remedy. It is not unusual in the treatment of such cases for the original symptoms to be reproduced. I have uh, I have seen a full-fledged typical attack of intermittent fever reproduced in a case which had become tubercular within a week after administration of antidotal dose of arsenic in hypotension. The patient made a rapid recovery. The initial attacks of intermittent fever in the case referred to was 5 years before. So 5 years before, the intermittent fever was suppressed with quinine and he developed tuberculosis, and Close has given him the arsenic album in hypotension. His tuberculosis had settled and again the intermittent fever came back. This happens even though it has been suppressed a way back. In a case variously diagnosed as chronic gout, chronic articular rheumatism, etc., unsuccessfully treated by many physicians, including European specialists, I witnessed the reappearance of discharge from the urethra 15 years after the original gonorrhea discharge had disappeared under the influence of astringent injections. With the establishment of the discharge, the patient's rheumatic symptoms began to rapidly improve and perfect cure resulted. This was a case of chronic gonococcic septicemia, the so-called gonorrheal rheumatism. In reality, metastasis to the original disease caused by the use of injections. The key which unlocked the door and released the imprisoned disease was Toja, the typical antipsychotic remedy of animal. He has given one more example of it. And this happens many times. I have shared one case with you that a child 3 years back, 3 years of age, brought to me with recurrent cough, asthmatic bronchitis. Right since the birth, he was continuously on antibiotics, bronchodilators, steroids, etc. And he was not getting cured. It was very early in my practice. The child was brought to me and child was very typical SINA. Whole history denotes and everything denotes SINA, but there was, the father never told any history. The parents, they have told they are normal, nothing. And when I started SINA, after 5 days, the child was brought to me in with perurethral discharge, a typical yellowish mucopurulent discharge, gonorrheal discharge. And then father explained, sir, I had this 10 years before. See the suppressed gonorrhea in father transmitted to the next generation and reappeared after right simillimum. So this is how it happens. The reappearance of the gonorrheal symptoms which were suppressed a way back can come out. And if it happens, you are with the Herin's law of direction of cure in the reverse order of appearance of symptoms. And these are very essential. Once it happens and once the disease becomes more peripheral, then internal hazardous problems can be settled. The metastatic problems inside in the vital organs again reappears on the external most layer. And these happens many times in our practice. Drug symptoms and complications often arise in the most unexpected and surprising ways and baffle all but the most acute and experienced examiners. Hair dyes. See, which are the things which causes more trouble? Hair dyes, antonics, complexion beautifiers, dentifrices, medicated soaps, antiseptics, borax in baby's mouth to prevent sprue, carbolic acid in mama's doubt to prevent the babies, innumerable ointments and lotions, to say nothing about the equally numerous patent and proprietary nostrums which fill the shelves of the corner drug stores and find their way down the red lane into the human system, all play their part in creating morbid susceptibility, idiosyncrasy, and drug diseases, and in making work for the doctor. So, see, everything, whatever you use externally on the faces, on the bodies, on the different organs, even the the creams from the beauticians, deodorant, that is a dangerous, very most dangerous is the deodorant. All those things used to produce a dangerous, hazardous effects on the body. It turns inside. The axis of the disease turns inside, and when it turns inside, it causes lot of damage. So these are also a drug diseases. Many times it happens. Many patients of allergies comes to you. You don't know what patient has applied. Many times I ask whether you use the deo, and answer is yes. Many patients have that. Many patients have the allergy of that naphthalene balls, which are kept in the cupboards in order to don't get the stinky smell to the clothes, but that itself is responsible to produce a disorder. So these things one must consider or take into consideration, ask the details, what they are using, what creams they are applying, and these are also included under the drug diseases. So drug diseases, all drug diseases which applied externally used to produce lot of problems for the patient. And last, to conclude the chapter, what he says is very important. These are some of the things to look for among the possible causes of the disease. They are things very generally overlooked by that type of physician who either does not know their importance, will not take time and pains to find it out, and does not care. So it depends upon the physician who gives time, who asks details, who writes down each and everything. These are very essential things which you have to write it down, because these are many times, these are the causes of the present illnesses. The patients of such physicians are fair game for the man who does know, who will take the time and who does care. He will not be in practice very long before he bags his share of them. So what he says, very important taunt he has made over there. The patients of such physicians are fair game for the man who does know, who will take the time and who does care. He will not be in practice very long before he bags his share of them. So ultimately giving a time to the patient, finding it out, the details about the patient, every detail history about the patient, all matters a lot, which guides you to specific things, and because of which it is possible to understand the iatrogenic causes or causes hidden in the drug system, and those are very essential many times. So we have finished very important chapter from the Stuart Close. Tomorrow we're going to start with the next chapter, that is the cure and recovery. That is chapter number 9. So we'll finish those 4 chapters, 8, 9, and then 11 and 12. These are 4 chapters from second year syllabus are there, and one must know for the first year syllabus also, new NCH syllabus, you can get all those things, and that's why it is too much necessary for them for from exam point of view as well as from the practice point of view. So that's all for today. Today evening we're going to meet with one more medicine, alumina, from third year syllabus, but alumina is very important remedy from practice point of view. So I will going to share the clinical cases along with the detailed explanation from Alan's keynotes. So be there at 8 o'clock. We'll meet again at 8 o'clock. Any queries there, we'll have a chat. Otherwise, we'll conclude.
Sir, shall I talk to you with one case of
Regard
psoriasis? According what you have said, it came. There was symmetrical rashes over hand, palms, and soles. Sir. I gave arnica. Arnica, and after 10 days, today she came, and it was maximum 60%. All the rashes have gone, and everything are complete white, but itching is present, sir.
Itching will persist another month. It is the aggravation period of psoriasis. November, December, January, February, aggravation period of psoriasis. If itching will be there, let it be. Ask them to use the coconut oil in order to prevent the itching. That will at least give some relief. But don't change. If arnica is working, it's very good. Let it continue, because that you have catch that what I have said. Bilateral symmetrical eruptions. Arnica is one of the remedies. Cipilinum is one more indicated over there. So don't change the remedy so fast. Wait, ask the patient that by the end of February she will be all right.
Sir, but arnica acts only for 6 to 10 days. Shall we repeat after every 10
If
days?
it is needed. If it is needed. If it is working, wait for some time.
Okay. But she is saying that mild cracks are coming on alternate hand, mild, very mild cracks.
This will happen till another month.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So, thank you being there. We'll meet again at 8 o'clock. Good evening.